Hello everyone and welcome to another No Rest for the Wicked build video. My name is Brian if you happen to be new around here, but we're going to be diving into my bow samurai mage build that I'm currently rocking and rolling in the game. This is an incredibly fun build and I really hope that you guys get something good out of it. Now this isn't a perfect build. We're going to talk about also in this video things that I'm on the hunt for, things that I'm on the lookout for as I do my Crucible runs. Now, with updates to the game that are naturally happening, if anything changes about this, be sure to check out the channel again because we're going to be diving into all the updates and so much more. And if you do sub to the channel because of this video, sound off in the comments so I can officially welcome you to the channel, just like Sprash, Star, Disc, and Shib have done so. So welcome to the channel, everyone. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, as we dive into this video, guys, if you hear a slight beeping in the background, note that that is my computer crying out for help. Thankfully, we've ordered a new PC, and that is actually going to be arriving on my birthday here in a couple of days, I hope, or at least soon after. Wasn't intending to get me a PC for my birthday, but note that will be addressed in future videos. But this week you might end up hearing that little beep, and I do apologize for that sound inconvenience. But let's go ahead and dive into the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. I'm going to talk about kind of my build setup here. We're going to go through all of my different gear, what I'm currently chasing after in terms of perks, and kind of my rules of thumb for finding and equipping various different gear. We'll then jump into my stats. I'll kind of talk about my thought process here, and then I'm going to talk about how all this works together with our different skills. First, to start it off, I've got a leveled up, level max honed frenzy. This is a samurai sword, and you can see here I actually get stamina on damage dealt. That's a gem that I slotted into it. It gives me attack stamina cost decreased by 9%, attacks deal extra 5% cold damage, and my item's weight on this has been decreased by 28%. Now, if I'm on the hunt for anything that's going to increase my damage or return resources to me, things like focus and stamina, that's something that I am personally hunting on that for. Then I also have a rogue messer, still not fully upgraded, but on its way. Now, this is a cursed item, and if you guys are new to the game, note that purples don't represent something higher than blue. It means that you're going to get some really awesome perks, but you might get a disadvantage perks, and that's what I've got currently here. Chance to gain copper on damage dealt is here. Damage dealt is increased. The increased stamina by 14 for 20 seconds after parry, and increased focus by 92 for 20 seconds after parry. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really good at parrying, so I don't really use these daggers all that much, but it's a good backup just in case. And then finally, my third weapon slot, I've got Snoo. This is a legendary unique, and I slotted it with a stamina on damage dealt. And you can see here, damage is increased by 30% against low health enemies. This is a great weapon to swap to and finish things off. You gain 2% health on damage dealt, and stamina refill is happening on parry. Again, my ultimate weakness is parry in this case. For the longbow, I've got a fully upgraded Yun longbow. Now, you'll notice here that this is, it has been rarefied, and thus it has a weight decrease of 17%. I would not ultimately recommend that, but that gem is important because I'm hunting for more of that same gem. So this is a tool that I use that if from a ranged, I want to farm as much focus as at all possible, because this is the bow that I'm currently rocking. This is a ordinary, which means it gives me the full custom set of options. So you can see here from the skills perspective, I've got arrow, cone shot, multi-shot, and plague arrow, and the gems that I've got are gain 3% stamina on damage dealt, damage increased by 7%, and gain 6% health on kill. And if I can find another one of these gems, that will be the gem that I put into its fourth slot. On the skills perspective for the main hand weapons, I've got Plague Swirl and Fire Throw. I've got Dual Slash and Fire Throw. And then these are all set whenever you get a legendary drop. The skills are all set. So you see Pulse of Health, Piercing Fury, Piercing Spin, and then Channel. In the defensive gear, I have an Eversoul Knight helmet. This has been almost tiered up to level cap. Focus regeneration is on this, as that is just going to continually fill me in with focus. My equipment load has been increased by 19%. My focus increase has been by 21%. Healing effects increased by 27%, and stamina increased by 14%. Those are some incredible great rolls. And you can see here the disadvantages: experience gain decreased by 7%, but I'm level capped, so it doesn't matter. So this doesn't hurt me in any which way. That's one thing you want to be aware of when it comes to the different negative perks, is that at some point that negative perk might not actually be working against you. So just kind of plan accordingly. For my body, I've got the leather body armor, the Kinder's Mantle. I've got health increased by 15%, poise defense increased by 12, stagger resistance increased by 5, and stamina regeneration increased by 15. In my gloves, a cursed item with a weight decrease, all resistance increased by 18, chance to gain 10% on damage taken, 14% refill chance on damage dealt for the gloves. And then finally for the leggings here, I've got Holy Prisoner leggings. This is going to have that one focus in on focus use, so I get a little focus back. Armor is increased by 19, health increased by 11, items durability increased by 20, and knockback resistance increased by 9. The main things I tend to actually focus in on are anything that's going to increase my overall damage and stats, and that's where the rings kind of come into play. And you can swap these in and out. I've used a bunch of different rings to find what I feel ends up being the best, but I've currently got 2 rune rings. So as I play, I'm on the hunt for anything that's better than 19%. So all my rune attacks, my special attacks, are going to deal 19% bonus damage plus an additional 16% bonus damage. And then finally I have the Band of Calmness, which is going to give me an increase of focus by 100, and also focus gain has been increased by 23%. So this is going to fill me with a lot of different focus, which is going to allow me to fire off my different skills, and this is why this all comes into play. But let's dive into the stats. You can see here right now I'm rocking 24 on health, 22 on stamina, 10 on strength, which is the default. Dexterity is currently at 43, intelligence is at 10, and faith is at 10. Focus is currently at 20, and my equipment load is currently at 28. So what I'm currently on the hunt for, because at 28, with the gear that I just had with all the different perks, I am in the fast category for dodging, aka blink. What I'm on the hunt for is gear that weighs less, that has either the same or better perks, and as I get that gear, I'm lowering my equipment load, and I'm going to be pumping that into dexterity or maybe add some additional health. Right now my stamina feels really good at 22, so it is a good comfortable spot to be in. But here with the dexterity, it does give me a lot of additional damage on the Hone Frenzy, the Rogue, and the Snoo, as well as the bows. So this is a very cohesive kind of build that all works together. All right, so now let's put this into practice. You can see here I've got a full focus bar. I would recommend making sure that you have focus vials on you. This can help in a pinch, but also can help reduce downtime if for some reason things aren't going your way. Now, I have set up my controller set up so that instead of the left bumper and the right bumper, I use the left trigger and the right trigger. That's something that's just a little bit more comfortable to me. You can do this under the control and customize control setting, and that is just where I basically swapped out those different skills. So you can see toggle runes, and then also offhand use for the weapon. So just note that if you see me ever playing and I'm playing on a controller, that is going to be how that works. My right trigger is going to be for my sword, which is also on the D-pad. So you can see here that swaps itself out, and you can swap it between the different weapons. This is excellent, especially with the Plague Slasher, because it only costs 50 focus, and it does some incredible damage, and I'll highlight that here in a second. On the bow side, I've got, again, I'm using the custom bow. If I swap to the rare bow, you see how I have different skills here. But if I would do the rare bow if I wanted to kind of farm this guy for focus, but since I'm on full focus at the moment, I don't need to worry about doing that. The big killer, like all of these abilities are great. You can see Plagued Arrow is going to do 20, but if I just do the big one, you can do Y in this case for that whole arrow. It is an instant pretty much kill for all the enemies that I run into, obviously outside of various different bosses. It does use 100 focus, and that's why your focus is so important to have up there. Let me go ahead and move into another position. Oh, here's a guy. Let me go and show you the actual Plague Slash. See how just powerful that is? It also kind of cuts through their base attack and allows you to kind of really focus in on doing that damage. And something about the samurai sword here, it feels very almost harmonic or very rhythm-based game. So I'm not necessarily always just mashing on the buttons. I kind of hit the attack, and then I just kind of do a charged up attack if necessary. So a lot of really cool stuff with the samurai sword that I do appreciate. But let's go ahead and jump over here, and let's go ahead and attack this big guy. I can pop off the triplicate arrow. It doesn't do as much damage as that. You can see here it's easy to go ahead and finish him off very, very quickly. The thing you do note is that that triple arrow, that cone shot, will knock you down or knock you backwards. So as you're playing it, just be very cautious as to your position. Obviously, I can jump down here without issue, but if I was on a spot where if you do fall off, you will die, that is the only disadvantage to that specific ability. Now, the other two abilities that the bow has is you just have your basic shot, which is going to use stamina, and you can just continue to pick off enemies from range. That's one of the best things that you have action to. You can also pop out a plague shot, which is going to do some little damage over time on the different enemies. Dodge out of the way there, and I just finish them off with that shot. We can go ahead and finish off this big guy right here as well. See here, it is just absolutely devastating. And I hope that you guys have as much fun with this job as I have as with this build that I have been using. It is an incredibly fun time, and honestly, I really cannot recommend it enough. Hopefully this has been a help. If you guys have any questions, sound off in the comments or check the top link in the description. We have a Discord group. We're all going to be playing it, and as soon as the multiplayer update rolls live, note that we're going to be doing some community game nights. It's absolutely free to be a part of the Discord. Again, top link in the description will get you to all the content and socials that I have online. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and this guide, and if I can do anything for you, just let me know and I'll see what I can get made. But until then, I hope you guys have a great day and take care.